Last year, we had a look at the Fujifilm 8-16mm f2.8, which was one of my favorite ultra-wide lenses ever. However, for the price point of that lens, it definitely wasn't an accessible ultra-wide lens for everyone. So today, we're going to have a look at the Fujifilm 10-24mm f4 to see if it's a great ultra-wide lens for the enthusiast. So why would you buy a Fujifilm 10-24mm lens? It's equivalent to about 16-35mm in full frame format, giving you a versatile wide angle lens experience, letting you shoot anything wide like a seascape all the way up to a wide angle portrait. So now I'm just going to go over the design of the Fujifilm 10-24mm. So first off, it's made out of a lightweight metal construction weighing at only about 400 grams, and it is not weather sealed, so make sure not to take this out during bad weather. Secondly, it's got your standard two rings. You've got a zoom ring, which is well rubberized, and you also have a focus ring as well. However, the focus ring is not rubberized. This might be made to distinguish each ring separately, but to be honest with you, I'd rather both rings rubberized, and I'm not too sure why they're both not rubberized. On the side of the lens, just like the 18-55mm kit lens, you've got a switch that swaps between automatic aperture selection and manual aperture selection. And below that, you've got a switch for optical image stabilization, which you can enable and disable. And lastly, just to keep the form factor compact, the zooming is internal, which is really neat. So now I'm just going to go over the key features of a Fuji 10-24mm f4 lens. So first off, it's got a max aperture of f4 and a minimum aperture of f22, backed up with a rounded 7-blade aperture diaphragm. So the lens is constructed with 14 elements in 10 groups, which 3 of those are extra low dispersion elements just to help out with chromatic aberrations as well as color fringing. And then you've got 3 spherical elements as well, just to help with field curvature and coma. Lastly, it's coated with Fujifilm Super EBC coating just to help with surface reflections and glare. So just my impressions on the usage of this lens, it's actually quite lightweight and it's really comfortable to use, and despite not having rubberized grips on the manual focus lens, I feel like the actual size of it and the resistance of the actual ring feels really nice to use anyway, so it's not really that much of a problem. The lightweightness and the form factor of the lens is really nice for people who want to travel, or if you're going to go on a hike, or really just like handheld shooting and don't really want to carry around too much weight, then the 10-24 is a good wide angle lens for that. In saying that, there's actually one feature of the 10-24 that I really wish it had. Like most people who are buying landscape lenses, they'll be out shooting seascapes, probably out hiking or going into really vibrant nature environments where you'll be outdoors most of the time. And in saying that, when you're outdoors, you never know when the weather is just gonna change and start raining, or you're gonna get some splashback from a rogue wave, etc. So with a 10-24mm designed to shoot ultra wide, not having weather sealing is a bit of a miss. I feel like for some people it might be a deal breaker. However, there are workarounds for that. You can get weather sleeves to just encase your camera or just your lens, so you can use it out in poorer weather. Otherwise, just be careful when you're taking the lens out. As you can see here, man here has attempted to fake feed the birds in order to attract them to mate. So comparing the 10-24 to the 8-16, which we tested out recently, there are a couple differences that you'll need to know. But first off, in terms of their similarities, the performance in autofocus is quite good, as well as their ability to deal with flaring, as we used both lenses in an environment where I guess there was a lot of shine on during direct sunlight, and both lenses did pretty well to combat that. In terms of a filter system, the Fuji 10-24 has a 72mm screw-in filter system, whereas in comparison to the 8-16mm, doesn't have a screw-in filter system. So you can buy your standard UV, circular polarizers, and NDs for the 10-24, as well as benefit from a square filter system using the 100mm filter system, such as the Nissi system. Now, in terms of actual cost as well as compatibility and also portability, the 100mm system is a lot more flexible and will work on other screw-in filter lenses as well. Whereas comparing that to the 8-16, you'll need to buy a 150mm system and it won't be compatible with a lot of your other lenses, making it a more costly investment. In terms of the actual depth of field elements, the 8-16 does give you that one extra bit of stop of low light as well as depth of field. So if you are going to be shooting out at night a lot and you know you shoot a lot of handheld stuff, then maybe the 8-16 will be a lot more beneficial for you. However, in most cases, people shooting landscapes will probably stop down to about 8 or f11 anyway, so you won't really need that extra stop. However, where the 8-16 does win out on both of these is it is weather sealed, so you can take that out during brutal conditions, whereas the 10-24 you'll just have to tuck away for a bit. So if you are a person concerned with bokeh, the 10-24 does only shoot at f4, so you're not going to get the most extreme background separation or depth of field. However, it does look nice and creamy and smooth, and there is separation. Now, one thing to note as well, because you are shooting on a wide angle lens, you will need to get basically up close to your subject if you do want that degree of separation. So if you are going to be shooting portraits, you're probably not going to get away with a close-up portrait, as you're literally going to be right next to their face when you're shooting them. Perfect. Today's sample images were shot with a Fujifilm X-T3 and a Fujifilm 10-24mm. When shooting at 10mm and 24mm, you'll notice a low amount of linear distortion. However, throughout the focal length, there is basically no distortion. Vignetting is basically non-apparent and really only visible at 10mm. Both of these minor drawbacks can be corrected with a simple lens profile correction. Sharpness is stronger at its wider apertures from f4 to f10. From f11 onwards, it does dip a bit in performance, however, it is not so bad. Corner resolution and center sharpness is quite good in this lens. Lastly, having a versatile focal length of 10-24mm means that this lens can suit many wide angle scenarios, and you are not limited to only shooting ultra wide, as you can shoot at 24mm for portraiture as well as other everyday street shooting. So in conclusion, the Fujifilm 10-24mm is a great wide angle lens. However, if you are a hardcore seascaper or you are a person that does enjoy getting out in the roughest weather conditions, then the 10-24 is probably not the lens for you, and the 8-16 from Fujifilm is probably the lens to go for. However, if you are an enthusiast or a person that is starting out their wide angle journey, or really just exploring the idea of having a wider focal length, then the Fujifilm 10-24 is a lot better choice. One, it's 1/3 of the price in comparison to the 8-16, and it has a compact form factor and very good image quality to back it up. If you have any questions on the 10-24, pop them in the comments below. Make sure to check out our Facebook, Instagram, and our blog, which links to those are in our description below. And as always, make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button so you don't miss out on our latest video as we upload weekly. So to give you a quick rundown on the key features of the 10-24mm lens. Just double checking.